Yeah?
So they got us.
All right. Do you have a little paperwork for me?
I do.
Show me what you got here. Oh, that's what I want. That's what I want.
I'll take that one.
One. Is there, let's see, was just the one in there, or your pretty girl in there too? Yeah, I didn't look far enough. My fault there, sorry. And I'm a prisoner trustee at the St. Johns County Jail here. The job that they've given to a couple of us, we're supposed to help the deputies process the new prisoners. That's you. That's us. That's you. Whatever you were doing last night or this morning, you're going to jail for it. Pretty jail, though, isn't it? Have you ever seen a pink jail before? Pretty because of Mr. Henry Flagler, who paid for it back in 1891. Are you familiar with Mr. Flagler?
We're getting familiar with him.
You've been in town 10 minutes, you'll hear all about it.
Yeah.
He didn't like the jail we used to have down on Cordova Street in town. It were right across the street from his fancy hotel. An ugly, noisy, smelly jail where the millionaire visitors can see it? No. So, 1891, Mr. Flagler insisted that we tear down that hotel in town and build a new one, a pretty one, outside of town. Our politicians had a little problem with that, though.
Money?
Yeah, we're the government, Mr. Flagler. We don't have no money. And Henry Flagler prepared for him, reached into his coat pocket, where he just happened to have $10,000 cash. He knows how to do business. 1891, $10,000 for the jail, and taxpayers put in $7,000 for this side over here, which is a house for our sheriff to live in. Sheriff Charles Joseph Perry, his wife, and over the years, 2 children, the fancy side of the building, which means we can't use the front door. Don't worry, we have our own front door. It's just in the back of the building. This one leads to the sheriff's house. We're going to do a little walking and talking, my friends. Today is the 9th of December, 1908. Date of your incarceration in the St. Johns County Jail. But here's the good news. It is a county jail in the state of Florida. And the Florida government says that they can't keep any of us more than 5 years. We're all getting out within 5 years.
Great, that's wonderful.
Let's go for a walk this way. Just a model, of course, but life size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, Joe.
Sheriff Perry stands 6'6" tall. These days, I bet you he's tipping the scale at 400 pounds. A shotgun, not so much. A rifle. This man, a rifle best shot in the county. Some are saying the best in the state of Florida. And he lives right next door to us. Isn't that comforting? Yeah, right. This way, man.
You want to stay for a long time then, right? You don't want to try sneaking away. Okay.
Now you all got your winter clothes on.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you don't come from around here.
Well, we're from outside Philadelphia originally, so
All right.
we're prepared, but we're all from the villages.
What?
Alabama,
Florida.
villages.
I'm New York State myself long ago. Was
Where
down here
from?
quite a while.
Where from?
Poughkeepsie, New York.
Okay, we know that.
We've all heard the word jailbird. Wherever we grew up, jailbird.
Yeah.
Never gave any thought to where that word came from, huh? The word jailbird started here.
Oh, okay.
We've got a jail that over the years now is not big enough. Bad criminals, murderers, thieves, robbers, whatever, we have to put in jail and, you know, give them a bed and such. Somebody comes along who's caused only a little bit of trouble, giving them space in an overcrowded jail, well, we can't do it. Sheriff Perry's answer was this. Put somebody in the cage, lock the door, a big long rope through the ring at the top, the rope over a tree branch in the backyard, pull on that rope, up goes the bird cage, a jailbird in it, 20 feet in the air, and leave them there for the next 24 hours. No
I like
food,
that.
no water, no
Yeah, sounds good to me.
coat or blanket or anything.
Yeah.
And the bathroom is simply the floor they're standing on.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry, we replace the boards every few months. We have to. One fellow went right.
Fell through.
Anyway, none of you are going in there. You're getting a proper jail, which might be just a little bit warmer.
Who's Mary Peck?
Well, we'll get to that
Oh, okay.
later.
Somebody crazy enough to live real close to a jail. The jail is 1 mile exactly to the city gates. Mr. Flagler said that the jail had to be at least 1 mile outside of town, so people wouldn't see it very much. And it had to be pretty when they did see it. The problem is, a pretty jail outside of town, people think it's a hotel. They come right up to the front door, knock on the front door, and, can I have a room? And Sheriff Perry will look them up and down, and more often than not say, yes. Saves him a trip into town. You're looking for a hotel. This ain't it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this isn't exactly the happy part here. We are the hanging jail for the county, my friends. Murder and stealing horses are crimes that will get you hanged in our county, and in most of the United States. Our jail's been out here for 17 years, and in that time we've had 8 official hangings. All of our official hangings have been fellas, first-degree murder. No girls. Yet. Yeah, of course. What are you smiling about? You've been thinking about it, haven't you?
I could think of a few.
I could tell you about one. Charlie Powell, most recent hanging. Charlie was a fellow who lived down in Bunnell, married fella. He decided that this other fella, a stranger in town, had been saying bad things about his wife. Shot the other man, killed him. They brought him here, got him at trial eventually. First-degree murder, guilty. The day of his hanging, hundreds of people on the other side of the fence. People come out here to enjoy the hangings. All us prisoner fellows are out here. We're supposed to watch. And the sheriff sent the deputies into this cell right here to get Charlie. Well, the deputies were pretty surprised. They found Charlie curled up in a ball on the floor. They couldn't rouse him, nothing. Even the doctor couldn't get him awake. But Sheriff Perry says we're having the hanging. Get him outside here. A whole lot of voters on the other side of the fence,
Right.
you know.
Bad for business.
Well, but how do you hang a man who can't stand up? Got to stand up on the trap door, get your head through that noose. Took him a while, but eventually a deputy said, why don't we get at one of the benches from out front? Knocked the legs off it, and then you got a board. Exactly what they did. They tied Charlie to that board, hauled him up the steps here with that heavy board behind it, up on the trap door. Sheriff's in a hurry now, let this thing fly. Charlie came down to the end of the rope, and it broke. He bounced right out here into all us prisoner fellas. Grown men letting out little girl screams, that's for sure. The doctor came running, had to be here, you know. Doctor, Sheriff, Charlie broke his neck, but he's still breathing. What do you want to do? Sheriff Perry said, I got no choice. The law says this man must hang by the neck until dead. Get another rope. But they didn't have one. A deputy thought he might have one at his house, got on a horse, rode off for it. 15, 20 minutes or so, he's coming back, and they start fixing up the second noose, but the doctor stopped him. Just at that moment, Charlie had finally expired, right here in the middle of all the prisoner fellows. The only friends he had. Only man to ever get off the gallows in that kind of way. Almost got away with it too, but died in the middle of the only friends he had. Stories, my friends, true stories. They don't all have happy endings, but that's part of what we're doing here today. True stories about your new home. The jail is made out of concrete, iron, and steel. No glass in the windows. The sheriff's house, of course, does, but over here, we're an open-air jail because the politician didn't want to spend the money on glass. Only criminals live in this side of the building. 72 beds inside for us, it ain't enough. You'll get a bed every other night in the good times. Holidays, a bed every 3 nights. And when you get a bed, figure on sharing it. The good news is actually something I think I'll save till we get inside. Inside, no spitting, no smoking, no cussing, please. Camera's great, take all the photographs you want. The dark sunglasses, you too. You might want to think about it's all dark in there. I don't want nobody getting hurt. Okay. My friends, this is it. It is time. You're going to jail. Yeah. Sure.
Oh,
Yeah. My dear.
wow.
Step right here.
Oh,
You call me. My dear,
Okay.
step up. Watch your
Yeah.
step.
Oh, it's warmer in
How
here.
about that?
Boys, don't say I never did.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Take that picture.
Yeah, take our picture.
Come on, Joanne.
Yeah.
There we go. Put on the
Never
side
seen two
face.
happier prisoners. How very
Yeah.
nice. It's a part of the jail I would not normally be
Yeah,
able to
right.
show to you. It is where we keep men who have hurt other people. It is maximum security. For reasons that weren't explained to me, it's empty today. Rare. So how about we take advantage and take a look?
Yeah.
A couple of minutes in maximum security, St. Johns County, Florida.
Ah.
The outside wall of the jail is all the way around, 2 foot thick concrete. The ceiling over our heads, 2 foot thick concrete, steel beams holding it up. The floor underneath us, 4 foot deep concrete. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Well, that's partly for not missing and a lot for trying to keep out the live oak trees in the backyard. The biggest trees in the backyard has got roots bigger and longer than their branches, actually pushing up our kitchen floor, 4 foot of concrete. In the jail, anything that's black, doors, gates, bars, beds, black is iron or steel. There has never been an escape from this building. The government of our country came down here from Washington in 1904 to see this county jail. They were so impressed with what they saw upstairs, our bedroom fellows upstairs. The government of our country hired the people that designed and built this jail and asked them to design and build a federal prison on some island in San Francisco. You've heard of it. Alcatraz. Using the locking system that were invented for this jail. Gotta keep an eye on them. It'd be interesting to see if they have a record of no escape. Dear, I saw you go from one of these. The girls are always interested in jewelry. This
I love pink.
is an absolutely authentic, real American ball and chain. What's going to surprise you is how much it weighs. The real thing.
Is that true?
Yes.
That's white? Wow.
What
I
you
thought they would
thought-
be heavy like gray.
What you've always heard about is actually a European ball and chain. They invented the ball over there in Europe. Over there they make them solid lead, brass, iron. In America, we're smarter. In America, we're cheaper. We make the ball hollow. Always have, always will. And it's just as effective because the prisoner is made to fill the ball each time with sand and water. This hole gets plugged up by a deputy, lock this around your ankle. Then you got a ball that's 35, 40 pounds, the little ones. Big ones, near up 150 pounds filled up.
Wow.
On a nice short chain, so if you want to carry it, you go right ahead. Bend over like that. Simple, cheap, and it works. Trust me. Those are punishment. This is everyday wear for most of the men in our jails, the men who live upstairs, the men who have not hurt people. These are called shackles. They are made of steel, and they get locked around a fellow's ankles upstairs after breakfast. When we have 20 men wearing these locked around their ankles, stand the fellows up in a straight line facing one direction. A deputy shouts out, "Spread them out!" Spread your feet apart as far as the chain will let you. And right there in the middle, that ring. The deputies are going to run a heavy chain through this ring between the legs, locking all 20 fellows together.
Wow.
For at least the next 14 hours. And this happens every day. This jail don't celebrate holidays, don't understand what a weekend is supposed to be. Storm last month. I wish somebody told Sheriff Perry. We worked through it. They're out there now digging ditches beside the county roads with flood control. Drain the swamp, we make turpentine. Frankly, it's the hardest work I've ever done. And I just spent my life sitting behind some desks. My friends, you're going to be working paid for your crime. Girls, you're going to be doing most of the gardening and the farming. Of course, the cooking and the cleaning. So your day is 15 or 16 hours. And my friends, I'm just going to go there. I'm sorry. You ain't never been dirty like you're going to be dirty in our jail. I know I don't look so bad right now because, you know, last week we had the bath. We have a bath, compliments of the county, every month. It's a wooden tub that they get out to the front of the jail somehow. You girls fill it up with water from the well. And then every one of the fellows from upstairs, 80 of us, on a good month, 80, sometimes over 100. Another single file line. One at a time, fellas from upstairs, up like a stepladder sort of thing, splash around in the tub for a minute or two. There's no soap to slow you down. Work your way to the other side of the tub, crawl out. Next fella climbs in. It's the line you want to be in the front of. Yeah. Girls, you'll have yours the next day. Can't be the same day as the boys, I'm sorry, but the next day you get that tub all to yourselves. With fresh water in it. I thought you might appreciate that. Just clean out whatever the boys left in the bottom of the tub. There you go. My friends, these are the things you should think about before, I don't know, whatever wild, crazy party you had last night down in town. Welcome home.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should forget about 3 meals a day, a warm bed, and education. You can even become a lawyer.
Yeah, right, yeah, right.
You know.
You're talking about some fancy English school, aren't you?
Yeah, right.
We have 3 meals a day. Compliments of you,
Yeah.
and you, and Mrs. Perry. Mrs. Perry, the sheriff's wife, is actually paid to supervise the girls, eating the cooking and everything else.
And where do they do the cooking?
Let's go to the kitchen.
Oh.
Very simple, right down the hallway here. On the other side of this hole, actually, is the kitchen. That's there so the girls can pass the plates through to a deputy, and the deputy can take the plates to each cell. You don't come over here. The boys are here, and you know they'd see you. That's sure not going to happen. The kitchen, right this way.
Are you? Good.
Yeah.
This is what you're supposed to get a tour.
Now, I was going to say, this is what they should be like today.
Yeah. Boy.
I know what you say, but I want to hear you say it again after you've seen upstairs.
Yeah, okay.
One of the big jobs for the girls, right off the bat in the morning, grinding up coffee beans. We drink coffee, only coffee. It's Sheriff Perry's idea. It keeps us awake so we can work longer hours, make more money for the county. Close to 500 cups of coffee out of this kitchen every day. Oh, and don't be waiting for sugar or milk. We don't get that. Do you like grits?
Yeah.
Grits every morning. No butter, no cheese, just
Well,
good old
no,
plain
okay.
grits.
Yeah.
I know
You're
what
not
they
going to
were.
like them very much. Lunch, I think, will be more to your liking. My friends,
Uh-huh.
pinto beans.
Pinto beans.
Boiled pinto beans for lunch every day.
Oh,
Boiled
God.
for a few hours, so there's very little chance of any flavor getting in the way of you enjoying them. Lunch for
Every
those folks
day.
who are at the jail.
Every day.
And supper at the county jail is a little something we call boiled pinto beans.
Oh, jeez, are you kidding me?
Now,
Wow.
every few weeks, I believe the girls are supposed to grind up some sort of green vegetable in with the beans. Helps to cut down on the scurvy and, you know, helps. Don't solve anything, really. Good thing there's no glass in the windows, huh?
A few bugs in there. Little beetles.
Boys on the chain gang are too far away for the hot meal during lunchtime. So this is lunch for the boys on the chain gang. It's called hard tack, T-A-C-K, made out of flour, salt, and water. Baked right here at the wood-burning stove. Think sailors, long voyages, you know, out there in the ocean, and then soldiers fighting the Civil War. Perfect for them, perfect for us. Food that never goes bad.
Uh-huh.
But there's one problem with it. You can't bite through it. Can't bite through it.
Oh, my God.
It's hard as a rock. And on purpose. This is a fresh piece, a couple of days old. Fresh piece. So, the way you eat it is soak it in the coffee for 5 minutes at the very least, 10 if you can get away with it. Once it softens up a little bit, you still don't want to use your teeth. Just suck on it and get the flour. The flour is what keeps anybody alive. The salt helps with the sun. And the coffee makes it possible. Almost bearable. One of these, fellas, and you likely can't finish it. This is your lunch. Gets you through the second 7 hours of chain gang every day you're in this jail. I'm only 98 pounds. This horizontal stripes that make me look so. Truly, it's enough food to keep us alive and working. That's all they care about, alive. You girls might get something a little better. You're cooking for Sheriff Perry, so who knows what you're going to maybe have a taste of. Sheriff Perry eats like a king around here. County makes sure of that. One thing I kind of slipped over earlier. The boys in this jail aren't allowed to see the girls in the jail. You have your separate cells right there where the boys never go. But isn't that a problem? How are we going to get fed, fellas? The girls have all the food, and we're never allowed to see them. The hole solves the problem for maximum security, but most of us live upstairs. 80 men, 90, 100 men upstairs. A hole in the wall's not going to help. What do we need?
Pulley.
A pulley and a hole in the ceiling, and all of that is right here. A dumbwaiter.
Dumbwaiter, right.
Girls put the plates, the pots, every which one in here on the shelves. There are deputies upstairs who were trying to help, but they got to be told which floor. Now the deputies will open up the second floor, help you pull the rope, everything goes up. Deputies deal with it upstairs. Girls wait for the dishes to come down with a dry sink. It all works. Sheriff Perry's happy about it. That's all that matters, I suppose. You know, the jail's making money off the boys working, and you girls too. You're growing more food than you could possibly eat. They're selling that. You don't look very happy about being in jail.
Well, basically back in those days, the crime, except for being prostitution, what did the women do?
Well, it is a crime for a woman in our county to show any bare skin below the waist in public, except up to, not including her full ankle, on a public beach. Many of our girls are brought here for bare ankles. Collarbone and shoulder blades, that'll get you a lot longer in jail. The crime that got most of our girls here in 1907, last year, was officially called operating an unlicensed business, but you name it. Men, any number of crimes, and women, you know, hurt people, women rob and steal and things too. Any crime you can think of, my friends, as long as the sentence is under 5 years, county jail. I want to cheer you up a little bit. Would you like to see something pretty?
Yeah, go ahead.
Follow me.
He's funny.
Oh, look at this.
I got her.
Oh, man. Oh, holy cow.
This is where the
All
sheriff
right,
lives.
wow. Sheriff, boy.
He goes home, huh?
You didn't think it was possible, did you? This was built same time they built the jail, but obviously different use. Sheriff Perry and his wife, they moved in as soon as the county would let them, 1891. The story goes Mrs. Perry was in a hurry to get to her new house. 3 weeks after moving in, Mrs. Perry had her first child.
Huh.
Her baby boy was born upstairs, 1891. Years later, their daughter also born here. It's just the sheriff and his wife and their daughter now. Boy's older, he moved down into town. Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Smells, I suppose, and a bit noisy, but it's
I
free.
have a table like that.
You like that? Oh, careful, boys and girls, you're picking out furniture. Yeah, right.
I love antiques.
Wow.
Well, where do they sleep?
2 bedrooms directly overhead. We can go up there in a minute.
Jeez.
And a couple of things you might be interested in here.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Typewriter, gift to Sheriff Perry by our county politicians a while ago. The politicians simply couldn't read Sheriff Perry's handwriting. Asked him to use that. And this is very special to us. We don't touch this box. It is a fingerprinting kit.
Oh, jeez.
With this kit, Sheriff Perry made us one of the first counties in the state of Florida ever doing fingerprinting. Very proud of that. The rifle, well, actually shotgun up there, was given to Sheriff Perry by his father on Sheriff Perry's 9th birthday.
God.
A birthday present to his son, a double
Holy
barrel
cow.
shotgun. Not everybody can handle them even when they're in their 20s and 30s or 40s, but a 9-year-old boy using this, how about that? Yeah, he became the best. And these rifles, all used in crimes. They became evidence in criminal trials. The ones in the left-hand case were captured by Sheriff Perry. After the trial, he says to the county, you know, how about I keep that one from you? Keep it safe. I don't own a Spanish military rifle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, look at it.
Well,
What is that long one there?
what does it say here? French Army rifle,
Jeez.
World War I.
World War One.
I don't know. I'm not much of a rifle man myself.
Who's all these pictures?
One of them was Sheriff Perry,
Oh, one Sheriff Perry. Oh, okay.
before he was ever sheriff.
Oh, oh, jeez.
14 years old right here, sitting down. His mother, his father,
Oh,
a Baptist
his
minister,
father was a big guy.
Ah, look at him.
Yeah.
3 sisters and a baby brother.
Wow.
This is, we believe, the first photograph ever taken of Sheriff Perry. And he didn't like having his photograph took after this. Sitting down, wearing a 3-piece wool suit, bow tie, hair all slicked down, you know. Summer outdoors. Took forever. Little brother kept squirming around. There are only 2 other photographs of Sheriff Perry that we're aware of. They're both upstairs. I can show them to you. They are both gallows photos. Yeah. And upstairs, my friends, is our next destination, 19 steps above us. If you do not want to climb stairs, or if you're
I can call.
tired of listening to me,
I
I
can
understand.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We're all
Hey.
boys. We got
You're fine.
Holy smokes. Look at this.
Yep. The exhibits go all the way around the room. My friends, I encourage you to take some time and look at them. Across the hall, you'll find Sheriff Perry's bedrooms. Kind of nice. Take a look. And of course, the main cell block here. The one thing I want to make sure everybody sees is the black door over here. because that is your exit. The stairs we just came up are recently proven to be a little bit dangerous for going down, you know, at the speed you'd like to. So we are asking everybody, those stairs out there by the gallows, another view of the gallows, safe, quick, easy way out. As you're looking around, keep in mind, no glass in the windows in this jail. No electricity, so forget the air conditioning you're feeling right now. No gas brought to the jail, even though the sheriff's house got it, they never put gas in the jail. Forget heat and lights. Prisoners were not given lamps and kerosene and oil lamps, that sort of thing. That's open flame. Don't give that to prisoners. And that's the way everything stayed, my friends, with most of the men spending the night in this iron box. 5 or 6 men to a cell many nights, 9 or 10 hours every night locked in this box. And when you weren't in this box, you were on the chain gang.
Is this a county jail?
Yes.
And it stayed in operation
Okay.
with a bucket in every cell up until its final day, August 24, 1953. 18 months to the day before I was born was the closing day for this jail, and good riddance. You're not having to spend the night, folks. You can leave anytime you want, but you made it all the way here. So I encourage you, take a look at the boys' bedroom and everything else. My name is Hungry. I'll see you on the outside if you've got any questions or anything, or you want me to pose for some fancy pictures.
I got a bunch of them.
You sure do. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you on the outside. Have a great day.
Fantastic. All right.